Alrighty. So when we left off, we are at chapter 19. We left straight from the mall, hopping on a bus out to the gardens, which was clear across the city. On the way, I tried to catch up on my homework. I'd missed a lot of classes that day, so I borrowed class notes from my friends. Rachel kept perfect notes. Tobias had terrible notes with all kinds of little drawings in the margins. It took a while for I to figure out what they were. They were buildings and people and cars, so I looked from high up in the sky. I don't really need to go in, Tobias says. We pulled our limited cash to buy tickets. I'm happy with my Hawkmorph. I don't want to be anything else. I think that's a mistake, Rachel said. Our own real weapon is the power to morph. We should acquire as many useful ones as we can. What kind of morphs are going to be able to deal with a visitor free when he turns into a big monster? Ate that Andalite, I asked. There was nothing in the zoo or any others going to kick that monster's butt. Marco winked. Fleas? No one can kill fleas. We'll just itch him to death. I had to smile. So suddenly you're Mr. Hopeful? No, I'm just so scared I'm getting weird, he said. I haven't done this morphing stuff and you guys all have. So I guess I'm not even a full-fledged Animorph yet. I'm still normal. I still feel normal, Cassie said. She looked troubled. Cassie, you can turn into a horse. Very few kids can do that. It's different for Jake turning into a lizard. He's always been a reptile. I took a good-natured swing at Marco, but he dodged it. It was cool having him with us, even if he was a giddy. It took about half an hour to reach the main gate of the gardens. I climbed down the bus feeling nervous, not like I usually felt going here. I mean, the garden's just my favorite place to go usually, but normally I'm not going there to get personal with dangerous animals. The main part of the gardens is the rides. They have all the usual stuff like roller coasters, which is my personal favorite, and Ferris wheels and water slides, but they also have the animal part, which is like a zoo, only better. They do dolphin shows, and there's a whole section where you get close to some of the safer animals, and this monkey habitat would have a whole monkey city, practically. Anyway, if I were an animal and I had to be a zoo, I guess I'd be there. Cassie led us to the main building, which held all kinds of exhibits. It had everything but the really big animals need lots of space. Those animals are further out, mostly the big grassy habitats are like parks. Parks with walls and moats and fences around them. The main building was supposed to be a rainforest, I guess. It's where they keep animals that need to be warm all the time. There's a pathway that leads around tall tropical trees overhead with bushes here and there between the exhibits. Some of them were tiny, some were big, like areas that have their otters. They had a waterfall and a water slide for the otters to play in. Aw. When we were near that habitat, Cassie stopped. Okay, now everyone stay together and trying to be suspicious. I'm taking you inside. Inside where? Marco asked. Well, the way it works is there are walkways behind all the exhibits. That's how they feed the animals and get the meds or whatever. That's medicine, of course, sorry. She pointed to an inconspicuous doorway. Anyway, we go in through there. It was an odd change from outside to inside. One minute we were in a fake rainforest. Next minute we were in more like a hallway at school. Only the smell was worse. Kind of damp and moldy and musty. More like a boys' locker room. Okay, look, if the staff people stop us, the stories are here to see my mom, Cassie said. Of course, so in the afternoon she won't be here. I hope. But if she finds out I've been dragging my friends around back here, well, I can't save the world from alien invaders if I'm grounded, so hopefully there won't be many staff at all. We shuffled on the hallway feeling like we didn't belong, which we didn't. On either side of the main hall there were side paths led to different exhibits. Unfortunately, doorways just had numbers on them. I knew we had to rely on our knowledge to find our way around. Behind some doors are animals you didn't just want to walk in on. So, how do you guys feel about gorillas? Cassie said. She stopped at one of the numbered doors. This is Big Jim's cage. He just came from another zoo and he's in his private environment now. He's very gentle. Slowly it dawned on me what Cassie was saying. Oh, you mean does one of us want to get his DNA? That's what we're here for, Jake, Rachel pointed out. She batted her eyes at Marco. How about you, Marco? Haven't you always wanted to be a big hairy guy? He didn't look crazy about the idea, but I knew how to handle him. Maybe he should try something easier for his first morph. You know, like a koala or something. That did it. Koala, Marco said, give me a look. Open that door, Cassie. You said gentle, right? Oh yeah, gorillas are extremely gentle. Then a choir voice she had, unless you make them mad. Yeah. Cassie opened her backpack, shook out an apple, handed to Marco. Here, you just open the door. The way it's set up now, the visitors will be able to see you unless you walk clear out into the cage. Plus there's an extra security gate so we can't just jump out and you can't just walk in. So we just open a door and hope he feels like eating. Behind the door was a second door of steel bars, with a little cutaway section for the handlers to shove food through. The whole door opening was concealed by a fake rock ledge, so it wasn't visible to people in the cage. But Big Jim noticed us right away. He climbed heavily down from his perch on a rock ledge and took a good look at us through the bars. Big Jim was definitely big. He had fingers the size of my wrist, but he didn't seem like he minded us being here. Mostly he was just interested in the apple. He looked Marco over, snored like he wasn't impressed, and then held out his hand. Hand him the apple, Cassie directed. He wants it. I loved your work in King Kong vs. Gorilla, Marco Godzilla, Marco told the ape. He stuck his hand through the bars held of the apple. With surprising daintiness, the gorilla lifted at me and inspecting it closely. Now hold his hand, I said. Yeah, right, Marco laughed. When you acquire DNA, it goes into kind of a trance. Go ahead, grab his hand and concentrate. He tentatively touched the gorilla's wrist. Nice monkey. The gorilla ignored him. He was much more interested in the apple. Concentrate, Rachel urged. He closed his eye on the apple. The ape did the same. What is wrong with me today? The ape closed his eyes. That's so cool, Tobias commented. You realize that gorilla could pull apart like a paper doll. Look at those arms. Mark opened an eye. Tobias, being terrified, gets in the way of concentrating. Will you shut up about his arms? Suddenly I heard a whirring sound, looked down the hall, then back. It was one of those electric carts like a golf cart. It was coming toward us. Just act natural, Cassie hissed. Marco slipped out and slammed a door on Big Jim. As long as it isn't a security guy, we're probably okay. Gorillas are not monkeys, they're apes. Yes, exactly. I imagine if the gorilla knew the distinction, he'd be pretty annoyed. Let's see. The cart came towards us. The driver was a man wearing a stained tan lab coat over his jeans. In the back of the car were two large plastic buckets full of something brown and horrible smelling. Hey, you're Cassie, right? The doc's kid? How's it going? Fine, Cassie said. She waved casually and the man drove right past. That was easy, Rachel said. He didn't even seem to care that we're back here. Well, where next? Cassie wondered. We're in a four-way corner. There are blank, white-painted hallways in all directions. A golf cart was parked there, too. What are we near? She thought for a moment. Okay, that walkway leads to the outer exhibits, the ones in the offices and storage facilities. Those two go around the main building exhibits. We're close to, the bats and snakes that way, the jaguar and dolphin tank that way. Rachel started down the hallway to the right. Dolphins. I love dolphins. Wait, Cass said, trotting after her. What are we going to do with dolphin morphs? I think we should go to the big exhibits, Marco said. Let's get serious. We need firepower. Come on. Let's stick together, says Marco starting the hall. I reached out to grab him, but he got too far away. That's when a voice yelled, Hey you, what are you kids doing back here? Oh, hi Kirby, good to see you. It's okay that you're back here. I saw a guy in a brown uniform. Security, Cassie yelped. Oh man, they're gonna take us to the office. They'll call my mom. I don't want to explain this to her. Split up, I said, trying to sound like a leer, just like at the construction site. One guy can't get us all. This is my grandfather, Rachel said. Not like that Harbinger after us. You kids, hold on. Oh man, Cass said. So now she took off down one hallway. Rachel and Tobias went after her. Marco was already 12 yards down the other hall, the one that led to the large exhibits. I ran to catch up. The guard reached the corner, saw him glance at Tobias and the girls, and looked at me and Marco. I guess we looked worse because he chose us. Stop, you kids better stop. Let's grab the golf cart, Marco said. Steal a golf cart? Well, if we don't take it, that guard will. Good point. We jumped in the cart. Marco slid behind the wheel. He turned the key to on and looked at me. Just like driving bumper cars, right? Yeah, only you tried not to hit things. He put his foot down the pedal and the electric motor made a whirring sound. We took off. Straight into a wall. Hey, try steering, I yelled. He backed off and took off again and we picked up speed. I wanted to pull away, but when I looked back, he was still jogging after us. He's gonna have a heart attack, I said. Which way? What? Which way? I turned around and faced forward. We reached a T corner. Right, I yelled. Naturally, he turned left and I nearly fell out. Immediately, we reached another corner. This time he chose right, and I did fall out. I hit the linoleum and rolled. I was up and racing to catch a car. What are you doing, Marco Manning saw me. Quit playing around. I just gave him a dirty look and climbed back in. I think we lost the guard. I'm fine, thanks for asking, I said. Just a few bruises, maybe a cracked skull, nothing serious. Where do you think we are? I think we're in the longest tunnel I've ever seen. It was more and more like one now. The floor is still linoleum and the walls are still whitewashed, but the lights are spread out, so you definitely get a feeling you're underground. I wonder if they caught the others, Marco said. I see why I think it's crazy we can beat the Yerks. I mean, come on, we barely beat zoo security. We haven't beat anyone yet, I said grimly. Look. Up ahead, there are two guys in brown uniforms. Maybe they don't know who we are. Maybe they think we're regular employees. Maybe, but not to get a good look at us, I pointed. There's a turnoff. Take it. We turned. At the same time, the guards started yelling. The side corridor grew narrow, too narrow for the cart. Ditch it. I jumped out and Marco jumped after me. Heard the footsteps ran down the main tunnel. They were in better shape than the old man. They could actually run. The corridor ended abruptly. There were two doors, one a little left, one further right. They're labeled P201 and 203. No help at all. Pick a door, Marco said. I took a deep breath. Number 1. I opened 201. A blast of fresh air hit me. Sunlight blinded me. I blinked trying to get my eyes to adjust. The rhinoceros blinked too. Ah! I yelled. Marco yelled too, and we jumped back and slammed the door. Wrong door, Marco yelled. Definitely wrong, I agreed. Hey, you kids, stop right there. The guards are just in the corridor. Gotta try number 2, I said. Do it. We opened a door and ran through. There are trees all around us now. Trees and grass. We are in the shade. Sunlight filtered down through the leaves. Just had the bushes gave way to open grass. Where are we, Marco said. Like I know. We worked our way for some bushes, keeping a careful eye in all directions. We didn't see any animals, just birds up in the trees. Hey, birds are animals too. Hey, there are people, Marco said, jumped behind a bush and pointed. There are people lying behind a railing, they're high up, or else we were very low down. I parted the bush to get a better look. People were leaning against the railing top of a concrete wall. They couldn't see us for the bushes, but they were definitely staring at something. We're in one of the habitats, I said, and those people are looking at whatever's in here with us. I'm hoping it wasn't that rhino. That thing was way too big. Well, how do we get out of here? I don't know. Let's just get away from the door. The guards will be coming after us any second. But you know, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, why haven't they come after us? Marco and I crawled through the bushes around the base of the big trees, reached a corner of the wall hidden from all the people above. That's an awfully high wall, Marco observed. It's gotta be 30 feet. That's not good. It's high for a reason. There's something in here they don't want to escape. I mean, that could apply to anything, but the more important part is they thought it needed to be 30 feet specifically, or at least not any smaller than that. I scanned the wall. There's a steel ladder set in the concrete about 50 yards away. I guess that's the only way out. Let me ask you something, Marco said. Why haven't the guards come after us? I mean, if it was like a deer antelope exhibit, they'd come right in, wouldn't they? We have to think and not panic. I'm trying not to think about it. I moved back in the shadows of the bushes. Besides, maybe there's nothing here at all. I squatted down on my haunches. My butt touched something warm. I had a terrible feeling right that moment. I looked up and saw Marco. Normally it's a kind of dark tan face, but his face was white. His eyes were large. Marco? I said very slowly and quietly. Is there something behind me? He nodded. What is it, Marco? Jake? It's a tiger. Chapter 20. A male Siberian tiger to be exact, 10 feet long, 700 pounds of deadly speed and unbelievable power. You know those old Tarzan movies you see on TV where Tarzan's wrestling a tiger and actually winning? Let me tell you, you want to know what chances are of wrestling a tiger and coming out alive? About the same chance to jumping off the Empire State Building and surviving. I have an idea, Marco said shakily. Let's leave. Don't run, I said, might get his attention. I think he's noticed us, Marco said. I think he knows we're here, Jake. He's looking right at us. Look at his teeth. Don't freak, I have an idea. The morphing. If I can acquire him, it'll put him into a trance. Acquire? Acquire what? You can't acquire anything about him. He's the acquirer and you're the acquiree. He's gonna acquire your butt for dinner. He's gonna acquire you and spit out the bones. I swallowed hard. I tried to touch a tiger, my hand was shaking too much. I took a couple of deep breaths. I heard some of it supposed to calm you down, and I guess it worked. Unless you're sitting on a tiger, then nothing calms you down. Nice tiger, I whispered. He was just watching me. He had this lazy who cares look, a look of total, complete, absolute confidence. Almost like he thought I was funny. Maybe he was just enjoying watching me shiver and shake. Please don't kill me, I said. Don't kill me either, Marco added. I reached a shaking hand toward a tiger, his eyes followed it, and I touched his flank. It rose and fell with his breathing. Concentrate, Marco whispered. I was already concentrating very hard on the tiger, on his teeth, on the rippling muscle under his pale orange and black pelt. I was totally concentrating on the fact he could swing his big massive paw and send my head flying like a soccer ball. And then the tiger's breathing slowed. His eyes fluttered a little and slowly closed. How long does that last? Well, about 10 seconds after you break contact. That's how it was with Homer. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Yeah, so just be ready to run. I've been ready to run. I started to pull away, but then I hesitated. It was a strange moment because right then I realized what I was doing. It hit me. The tiger was becoming part of me. All that power and confidence was becoming part of me. He's beautiful, isn't he? I said. I started to say something sarcastically. He just said, yeah, he's magnificent. And they add, but let's get out before he shows us why he's king of the jungle. That's lions. They're supposed to be king of the jungle, but I'll tell him that. You ready? He nodded. Now, I yelled. I jumped up and we tore for the ladder. In my head, I was counting off seconds. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000. Something moved and fast, an orange and black blur. But then I realized it. Duh, there's more than one tiger in the habitat. I heard screams from the spectators above. I guess I could see us now we were out of the bushes. Marco leaped and grabbed the rungs of the ladder. He scrambled up. I was about 1/10 of a second behind him. The tiger leaped and his claws scraped the concrete just inches below me, and he let out a roar made the rungs of the ladder vibrate in my hands. It echoed and reverberated and made my insides turn to liquid. Marco practically flew up the ladder on the other side of the wall, and I flew right after him. It's amazing how fast you can climb as a tiger roaring for your blood. There they are, someone yelled. Get them, stop. Guards, at least 3 of them. Should we morph? Marco yelled at me. No, just head for the crowds there over the dolphin tank. It was a close call. We made it to the big crowd just a dozen feet ahead of the guards. At that point, all we do is hunch down and squirm between all the people till the guards lost sight. We worked our way to the front gate, always crouching so our heads didn't show. What'd you do, morph into a midget? It was Rachel. She's right in front of me looking amused. Tobias and Cassie are there too. The guards are after us, I said. I almost stopped shaking from my close encounter with the big cats. Almost. Oh, quit playing around, Jake, Rachel said. Let's get out of here. I have to be home for dinner. It turned out the airfree had not been chased at all. They lost the guards easily and just got acquired more, so Marco and I are risking our lives. The most annoying thing is none of them even believed our story. Marco and I were a little resentful over that. I mean, you'd think they could just morph into a tiger and prove it. But anyway. Well, I guess they can't do it in the open, so yeah. Anyway, we climbed aboard the bus and practically collapsed in our seats. We could have been kill marks at pouting, really, I'm telling you, it's down to a few inches. Yeah, whatever, Rachel said, don't obsess over it. After all, we still have tonight to deal with. Whatever danger you had today will probably be nothing compared to what will happen tonight. Tonight, Cassie shook her head, and I haven't even thought about studying for that math test tomorrow. Rachel laughed. We might not have to worry about tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, little Miss Cheerful, Marco muttered under his breath. Anywho, chapter 21. Where have you been all afternoon and evening, Mom asked me to sit down for dinner. My family's very old-fashioned about dinner. We all sit at the table, no TV. My mom's a writer, so she hates TV unless it's one of her programs. Where have I been? I repeated the question. Hanging out, hanging with Marco. I don't know why you bothered to ask, my dad said. His answer's always the same, hanging out. So, what did you do at work today, Dad? I asked him. Hung out, he said. He gave me a wink and we all laughed. I glanced over at Tom. He only ate chicken He was eating chicken hakatora like the rest of us and laughing. He just seemed so normal. You doing anything tonight, Tom? I asked him. Why? I try to look casual. I was thinking maybe we should shoot some hoops. Maybe I can teach you some new moves and I can get another shot at making the team. Sorry, man, he said. I have things to do tonight. Yeah, like what? Hanging out, no doubt. My mom said, eat the broccoli, Jake. It's good for you. It's full of trace minerals and vitamins you can't get anywhere else. Okay, Mom. I know how much I love trace minerals. I popped the smallest piece of broccoli I could and tried to gag it down. I guess it wasn't any worse than eating a live spider. Honestly, I do not eat broccoli very well myself. It just refuses to go down. I don't know what it is. So, Tom, what was it you said you were doing? I asked him again. Oh, I see. That's kind of clever. Acted like he already said it. He gave me a dirty look. Do I have to check in with you now? I have things to do. Is that okay, little brother? A girl, my dad commented. I know these things. I'm a doctor. A doctor. No, Dad, not a girl. I wanted to say a yerk pull. What's a yerk pull, Mom? Well, that's kind of a long story. I decided to try one more time. I guess a part of me still refused to believe what Tom was. Maybe you're just afraid to shoot hoops at me, I said. Maybe I kick your butt. Yeah, that's it. You happy now? Tom sneered. His gaze met mine. Was there some kind of sign in his eyes? Some evidence of the selfish, evil creature controlling him? No. But I wish there had been. But there's no way to know who's the controller and who isn't, and that's what makes them so hard to stop. They can be anyone. Anywhere. Even a person you think you know. A person you admire and look up to and love. I put my gaze away and looked down at my food. A few minutes later, Tom got up to go, and I knew where he was going. After he left, I went up the stairs phone where my parents couldn't overhear me, and I called Marco. He's on his way, I said. I called Tobias and Rachel. I tried to call Cassie, but I got my mother instead. She's not in, her mom said. She sounded worried. She wasn't home for dinner. She went to feed some animals and didn't come back. My stomach clenched. She's probably just out riding one of the horses, I said, trying to reassure her. You know, Cassie. All the horses are at their stalls. I took a couple of deep breaths. Something was wrong. What happened to Cassie? Look around for her, I said. Don't worry, I bet she just saw some injured animals and went to rescue it. You know Cassie, I said again. Yes, I'm sure she's fine. Right, she was about as sure as I was, but what could I do? The plan was to send an attack to Yerkpool and rescue Tom. Maybe Cassie's already at school waiting. Maybe. I had a bad feeling as I rode my bike to school. I hid the bike across the street the way we planned, then I hooked up with Marco and Rachel. Cassie's missing, I said. Where's Tobias? Richard pointed to the sky. The sun was setting fast and I see him circling overhead. What's the matter with him? He's got a 2-hour time and we don't know how long this is going to take. Maybe we should bail until we find out what happened with Cassie, Rachel said. Could be she's just scared, Marco said. I am. Maybe, I agree, but I doubt it. But they say you never know who's going to be brave or cowardly in a battle. I just hoped I wasn't a coward. The truth was my mouth was already dry and my heart was pounding, and we hadn't even done anything yet. Tobias swooped down and perched on Rachel's shoulder, surprised me. Why would he perch on her shoulder? She didn't seem annoyed at all. She rubbed his head against him a little. Aw, that's cute. They're nuzzling. Are we doing this or not? Tobias asked. This wasn't starting off right at all. The bad feeling in my stomach is just getting worse. Cassie's missing. Tobias is already morphed. Everyone's looking at me, waiting for me aside. Yeah, we're doing it, I said. The school was locked up for a night, but Marco had taken care of that. He knew of a window in the science lab that just didn't lock. We crawled in the science lab through the window. It was dark except for a dying light of sun that glinted off the glass beakers and test tubes. Tobias shifted through and landed neatly on a teacher's desk. Let me take a look, I said. I opened my door and slowly as I could and peeked out for the crack. I could see down nearby dark hallway to the janitor's closet. Instantly I pulled back in. There are people out there, 3 people heading in the closet. Controllers, Rachel said. I guess it's dinner time for yerks. None of us thought that was very funny. How are we gonna get in there? Wait a minute, Rachel said. Do all controllers know each other by sight? I mean, maybe we're controllers, right? You know, that's a good point. So we just walk in like we belong, Marco said. Wonderful plan, Rachel. Got a better idea. Let's just kill ourselves now and get it over with. Maybe Rachel's right, I said. Big maybe, Marco pointed out. Big, huge maybe. What about Tom? He'd know if you're a controller. I cracked the door again and looked out. I think he's already there. Besides, the hallway's empty now. I I fell silent. Wait, here comes someone. I stared. It wasn't easy to see faces in the gloom, but I could tell there were two people and one of them was wearing a uniform. It was the controller policeman, and he was rudely yanking someone along with him. I could see it was a girl. I didn't want to see any more. Tobias said, I need you to use your hawk eyes. He floated over and stood on my shoulder. He poked his fierce head and drew back. Yes, he said, it's her. I felt the floor open underneath me. Marco grabbed me and I was about to fall over. They have her, I whispered. The controllers. They have Cassie.